Hello, 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 everybody. I hope everyone is doing well today. Welcome and welcome back to Memoirs of a Longarm Quilter. I am your girl, Stephanie, aka Sassy Steph. I hope you guys are all doing well on today. Let's see who's all here. I see Nancy is in the chat. Thank you, thank you. You hear my babies? I hope they're not being too loud. Because they're right here, like right off camera, and I can't figure out how to get voice isolation. So you're gonna hear them tonight. Hey, Dee's Crafting Corner. Thank you so much for coming on in. Coming on in. Today, guys, we'll be working on this beautiful quilt right here. It is from Erica Selman here on YouTube. She did a Starlight, Star Bright quilt along on, I believe it was last year. I had already put it together and just never quilted it. So on today, we'll be doing a edge to edge on it. That way I don't have to stand so much on tonight. But yeah, it's going to be computerized quilting. The design is a preloaded design that came in the on my Navigator. Um, it is a Urban Elements, I believe, a Urban Elements design, and I will show you guys that design a little bit later. Oh, Nancy, thank you, Nancy. I'm glad it's sweet, cause hunty, I can't do it. I can't do it. They're not too loud. Okay. Thank you. So I want to make sure we go ahead and get started because I think this quilt is going to take approximately 6 passes going back and forth. So we're going to try to get as much done as we can in this short time. I got this timer set for 45 minutes. So let's go ahead because I want to try to knock these lives out in 45 minutes. Okay. I have it already set up. I'm going to angle my camera down so if you get a little woozy, if people moving their cameras and stuff like that, I'm giving you an opportunity right now to close your eyes until I say okay. Okay, there we go. I can't take that off of there. So it's all set up. I'm going to get my mouse and get everything ready to rock and roll. Oh, well, I need to turn it back on. Yes, you guys hear my babies in the background, and then I have my other big baby sitting here looking at me like, "Ma, please." Okay, my edge to edge is transferring to the computer into the on the long arm. Well, to the controller, I should say. And it is giving me an opportunity to, before I do that, you know, anytime, I'm gonna hit stop, edit. Anytime you start a project, I'm going off camera for a second. Anytime you start a project, and I just realized that I didn't do it, you need to test to make sure your stitches are good. I think they are, but I want to be double sure. Pick up. And what I'm doing right now is just running the machine in manual mode, giving it a couple of stitches just to make sure that my stitches are good on the back. And I am so glad I did, because my top tension is too loose. I need to tighten it up a little bit. Ooh, that would have been a disaster, y'all. That would have been a disaster. And let me see. Go down again. I think I got it. The only thing to do when your tension is off, yep, that's it. When your tension is off, you check your, if you know your bobbin is right, it's your top tension. And I know that my top tension was, it was just showing a line on the back side of this quilt. I was like, yeah, my top tension is not tight enough. Let me go ahead and change it. So I did that. We are now set. We're good to go. Let's see who all else came in the chat. Hi, Brenda. Okay, now we can go. And you guys get to hear my baby. I know the last time she was sounding kind of rough, and I know, I think it was Ellen who pointed it out. I was like, no. And it was a big lint ball under where the bobbin sits. And then when I opened up the needle plate, it was a lot of lint there. So I made sure I oiled him really good on tonight, and hopefully he won't sound too bad. Okay, let's continue. Let's get this baby running. He is moving into the correct position. I am about to pull up my thread here. Pick up my thread, my bobbin thread, and then I can continue. And this quilt has a lot of floral detail on it. Let me set my toggles too while I'm right here. It has a lot of floral detail, and what's going to happen, and I chose a pattern that had some leaves in it. So it's going to stitch nice big pretty leaves on it. And right now it's stitching off, and that's okay, because I wanted it to give, I like for my pattern to come off the edge just a little bit to make sure that I'm securing all my corners. A lot of people don't like to do that, but that's just my personal preference. And then when you have a quilt loaded, only thing you have to do is go down the quilt as the long arm is going. And what I'm doing is looking for loose threads. If I see some loose threads, when I pull them and they won't come up, I just cut them so they won't get caught in the frame, well, in the needle foot, the presser foot. Okay, so that's all I'm doing all the way down at this end. And I want to talk to you guys about my toggle cord here, because I've gotten plenty of questions on it. This is nothing more than a parachute cable. This right here, it's a parachute cable, and I use it to mark my my borders. I have like this one right here and right here, and actually I'm going to move this one down. 1, 2, and then I'm going to do the 2 in the middle here, and then these 2. And what it does is, as I advance this quilt, what it's going to do is it's going to help me line up. So every time I go further down on this quilt, my border should be in between these two green toggles. And it's going to be like that in the center and also on the other edge of the border. So if you have a long arm and you're looking for something to make sure that your quilt stays consistent going all the way down, this toggle, this parachute cord, you can get pretty much anywhere, like a hardware store, Harbor Freight, wherever, and get you some toggles. You just have to make sure that the toggles you get fit on that quilt. Ooh, it's looking so good. I wish I can, thank you, Brenda. I wish I can, I had my camera. For the life of me, I can't find that camera. So I can do an overhead view. And most likely, since I can't find it, I'm going to end up buying another one. But it won't be for a little bit because I'm trying to get these chickens out of here, y'all. We're working hard trying to get the chickens out of here. And it's funny, the more quilting that you do on a quilt, it never fails. It starts to pop out these threads. They feel like they coming out of the woodwork after I just finished going down this quilt and I didn't see all of these. Maybe I was concentrating on a different row or something. I don't know, but all of a sudden I'm seeing a whole bunch of them. It's like that sometimes, though. And these are magnets that I put on the frames too, because my frame is metal. I use these magnets to help give tension on my top quilt because I float my quilt. I do not wind my top on to the leader at all. Ooh, I'm in love with this color. This is a OMNI thread color number 3007. I think it's absolutely beautiful on this quilt. If you guys have any long arm questions, you can go ahead and throw them in the chat. I'll be glad to answer them for you. I'm a very hands-on person when it comes to quilting on here. I'm always making sure everything is okay as this is going along. I'm making sure that there's no fullness anywhere. If there's some fullness, I'll have to either, if I can't work it in, I am going to have to seam it. And the thing that I like about having a computer on this is because if you have an edge to edge, say for instance that edge to edge, they say it's only, the height of it is only 8 inches, you can adjust that. As long as you have a thing where you can keep it in proportionate, in a proportionate ratio to it, Oh my goodness, it is a lifesaver because this design was only, it was at 8 inches, and I brought it all the way up to, if I'm not mistaken, 13 inches. So I was able to make it bigger because if I would have kept it at 8 inches, we would have been here all, I would have been here all night trying to finish up this quilt. But because I was able to do this, make it as this big, I'm able to, one, save time, and two, make the quilt not as dense, not as hard. This one is going to be a snuggle quilt, so you don't want it to be too dense. Oh guys, this is so pretty. I'm so happy with this. Again, if you guys have any questions, just go ahead and ask. I'll be glad to answer. He is asking, was this a kit or did you pick your own fabrics? I picked my own fabric. Now they are all from the exact same line. When I pick fabrics for projects, I will pick them myself, but 9 times out of 10, they will all be from the exact same line, or the exact same collection. That way I know that they will always marry with one another. This was, I want to say it was something fig. I don't have it with me. It was I know it was last year's collection. And when I saw the colors, I was like, oh wow, I want this. And I'm glad I did choose it because it's a nice and neutral autumn color. It's a very pretty line, a very pretty line. I believe it was a Moda line. What I'm going to do is I can look up the collection and I'll put it in the description box because I believe I do have it posted on Instagram if I'm not mistaken. I just can't remember it offhand. Thank you. She said, Nancy said, this is going to look amazing. I feel like it is. It is just absolutely beautiful. And on the back, I don't know what I was thinking. I had our local quilt shop like once or twice a year. She does a sale on 5 yards of fabric at a time. But it has to be, like a continuous 5 yards. And I know I bought 5 yards of these. I was like, that'll be the backing, but I wasn't planning on making this quilt as large as it is. So when I went to size up the backing today, I was like, this is too short. And of course, I realized it way too late because she no longer has this fabric. Most likely, I bought the rest of it off the boat. But I was like, dang on it. So I had to pick a different backing, but it's a brown backing. I don't know. here, but um, you guys will see it on a post. It'll be done by next Tuesday, and it'll still be here unbound because I haven't taken the time to do any binding yet. And I'll show you guys the backing of it. But it was so, I had to laugh at my own self. I was like, girl, you don't have the backing. So I just got a pretty brown, which I thought will be, that went in between these brown colors. But I still have enough where I can use this right here as my binding. So to keep that consistent, so I'll do that. And Day had created, before I got my embroidery machine, she created me a beautiful triangle corner label that I'm going to use for it before I send it off. And what is going to be so pretty is because I did it a nice big loose design. What's going to be pretty is when it crinkles, like after you wash it. Oh, it's going to be so pretty. It just won't be like super, super tight. It'll just be nice and flowy. Hi, Helen. Thank you so much for coming on and in on tonight. She said she loves watching quilt machines. Yeah, his name is Tafari. He's a 22-inch classic Innova, and he's been good to me. He's been really good to me. This is not my first long arm. This is actually my second one. And yeah, you sometimes you just gotta keep going until you find one that fits you the best. And he absolutely does. Okay, he's almost done with this row. I'm hearing a second rumble, but I think that's been with him all along. Even when my dealer came out, he said there's nothing wrong with him. I'm hearing a second rubbing. I might want to look into this one again. I think it's just him and the belt. Because he did tighten my belt up for me, so I'm thinking that's what that sound is on his belt. But other than that, I told him as long as this baby continues to put out beautiful stitches, we're good to go. But you always, when you have machines, even I'm talking some machines too. If you are to oil your machines, please, please, please make sure you do. Okay, he's about to stop, and then he's going to let me know that this pass, I should say, is complete. I'm going to say okay. And I have to break thread because what I have to do is bring him in the middle. Scissors. Bring him in the middle so I can realign the quilt for the next row. And to do that, I bring him to the lowest point of the design that was just done, and I bring it here. Where's my mouse? Right here. I enlarge what I have up here on my screen. I'm sorry you guys can't see this, but I'm enlarging what I have on my screen to let me know that, this is what I need. Actually, I need to move it first. That's what happens when you don't quilt on them for quite some time. You forget your order. I need to unclamp, take everything off of him so I can move it back. And only bar I'm releasing is this front bar because that's the one that needs to roll. And what I'm doing is I'm just advancing it forward, and I'm only advancing it enough, giving it enough room so I can see my quilt design. I'm thinking I might have to go back some more. I might not. I think I got it. And at this time, you want to make sure that the batting is not bunched up. You just lift up your top. And people will say, oh, see, I wouldn't have to do that if I rolled my batting. No, but you still, it only takes a couple of seconds to do this. Just to make sure that you don't have your batting bunched up. And then make sure everything is back in line with my toggles that I have here. Here in line. Then I line up this one again up here. There it is in all its glory. Now what I was saying I'll do so I can reposition it is I moved to that lower mark right there. Now I need to find where I am. Girls, be nice. Okay, bring it down so I can see. Reposition. Apply. Done. And what I just did was set up my new sew zone, and it's telling me I need to take it back just a little bit more. Make sure that's all good. Now, take that. I'm sorry, this part is taking a little bit longer. I just want to make sure that this quilt is lined up correctly and I am within the sew zone. And I am. Okay, the next thing I have to do is put all my things back on it to make sure that it's good. And my clamps back on. I have 2 clamps to pull the sides tight, so I will not get a bunch in the back. You know how you get something gets folded over on itself. You don't want that. You do not want that at all. Okay, put a clip here. I'm coming to the chat in just a second. That's lined up. Everything is lined up. Now the next thing I need to do is, because I go off sides of my quilt, I don't want to go all the way on off the sides. I just need to go off the sides just a little bit. And so I need to trim those edges off. Trim the edges. So I'm off on that side. I don't know if you can't see it. I'm sorry. Let me trim. I'm going to trim right here. That's good. Except, and then I need to go down to the other end, because actually that's where I'll be starting, down on this other end. Now I'm going to tell you guys why I quilt from left to right and right to left. In just a minute, let me trim this. I need to invert and then accept. Okay, let's go to multiply and go. Okay. Hi, Cam. Helen says she has an APQS. Yes, not an auto stitcher, all by hand, but I have not been quilting for a while, dying to get back to it. Oh, Ellen, I bet you are an amazing free motion quilter. That is my goal, is to learn something more than basic root work, meander, loops. I got that. I think I got that part down, but I am working on it. I am working on it. In fact, I have a customer quilt that I have to work on. Well, wait a minute before I start. Let's stop. I forgot to do something. And that's based down my sides. I'm going to basting mode. That should only take me a hot second to do this. Yeah, free motion quilting is something that I think it scares me. That's why I don't do it that much. And I think it's because I'm gonna call it the social media syndrome. You know what I mean? It's that everything on social media is perfect, and if I can't get it perfect, though I know that, I have to learn it and, keep on practicing. I know that. I say it all the time, all the time. But I do. I don't know what that is about me. I do get, little, that didn't come out as good as I hope for it had to come out. And then there are sometimes I knock things off the park and I be like, oh, let me put my power assist on, because having to lug this machine on these belts kind of hard. The power assist, I have a power assist on my machine, which what it does is it lightens the load for me when I have to drag my sew head. It makes it almost light, very light to touch. But yeah, that's my thing with free motion quilting, and I'm like, man, I want to do it so bad, but even it scares me just to even do it to show nobody. I don't even gotta show nobody. It's just for, even if I'm just doing it for myself, I get so weirded out about it. It's really crazy, really crazy. And I'm like, you are just as silly as the day is long. Get it right, girl. Get it right. Yes. Okay, now we're gonna start. And while it's generating that to the controller, I see a little fullness right here, but I think I can work it. Don't be afraid to work in that fullness. If you need to, get some water bottles. I showed that in a video before. Get some water bottles. If you don't have water bottles, get a steamer. If you don't have a steamer, you need to get your iron out and get it on there. Ooh, excuse me. Get some steam off of your iron and and steam out your fabric. Let it relax. Okay, it's moving into position. Set my stitch length back. I'm glad I saw that. Picking up my thread. It's telling me it's giving me time to pick up my thread and hold it so it can get started. There you go. Thank you. Jill, hi Jill. Thank you, honey. Cam, that's my daughter. She's in the house. Or I should say in the chat. I do appreciate her coming out and visiting her mama on tonight. Yes, I have everything lined back up beautifully. Yeah. I think by the time this row is done, my time will be up with you guys on today. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Hi, Donnell. She says I'm in Roseville, Michigan. Hope everyone is having a beautiful day and your foot is gorgeous. Thank you. Yes, today was a good day. Today was a good day. I had to go grocery shopping earlier this morning, and then came in and did some work with the chickens because they are, guys, they're getting so big. They're 2 weeks old. They're 2 weeks old, and they're just hilarious. They're hilarious. They have all kinds of personalities. I have one that loves to be held. The other 9, they'll come to me if they see me with something in my hand. You know, like, oh, she got food in her hand. Let me go over to her, be her friend now. And then when my hand get empty, they be like, I don't want nothing to do with you, girl. Yes, every day we wake up, it is a beautiful day. Oh, my husband is listening. He's watching. Hey, baby. Yes, I'm super excited to have my husband watch. He is my biggest cheerleader ever. And I love it, love it, love it. Actually, my whole family is my biggest cheerleader. But he is the biggest. But yeah, guys, these chickens, they're coming out of oh, they're so cute. They're coming out of that phase, that after they first hatch and you see them in the stores and they look all super fluffy and cute. It's only been 2 weeks and they're already growing their feathers. They look completely different. My husband was like, dang, they got big feet already. So their features are changing, and it's amazing to see, their personalities and their quirkiness, and it's just really fun to watch them grow. Oh, this quilt is going to be heavenly. So why do you do left and right, then left and right? Okay. I do that. Thank you, Nancy, for reminding me. See, for a moment. I do that because if you continue to do left to right, what happen is your quilt can start shifting that way, and especially if you don't have everything set, it's an even flow across the quilt if you go from left to right and then come back right to left. As you can see, the fabric is going like this, but if you keep going like this, you're smushing it all to the right. So when you get down to the end, you will have more fullness on that right hand. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to keep it spread even and keep it in the middle. Now, I can honestly say this. Before I learned this technique, when I got to the bottom, I always had a lot of fullness. Now that I do it this way, I have less fullness. Does it mean you can't secure it enough where it won't do that? If you continue just want to do it left to right, do whatever floats your boat, honey. But I have learned and I have witnessed for myself that the fullness will stay within the quilt instead of you pushing it out to the side at the end. So that's why I do that the pass like that. Now, if you are quilting on a domestic, you have to make sure you pin the dickens out of that quilt. Now, when you after you pin it, and you see some fullness in areas, go ahead and stop and seam those areas so it can lay as flat as possible. So even though you're going to have to squinch it and, turn it and stuff like that, go ahead and take the time to do that. Thank you, Jill. She said you look and sound good. Girl, I had to take me a nap before this live, okay? And get the praying. I feel good now. Thank you so much. Okay, Nancy said now she understands. Yes. And if don't ever be afraid to ask questions, because I will tell you what I know, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat to act like I know something that I do not know. But if I have lived it like I have with this quilt, or not this quilt, in my quilting experience, I would love to tell you. Love to tell you. I know this backing because I got it today. It's by Stonehenge, I think. It's Stonehenge. What's this thing called? Stonehenge something. Is it on its receipt? No, just say it's natural. Oh no, this is not the receipt. It's a Stonehenge fabric. Yeah, Stonehenge. I'm sorry, Stonehenge. And the number is 2199. Oh, it's so pretty. So if you see it from Stonehenge, it's a 108 backing. If you see that in the store, go look at it. It is very pretty. Very pretty. It has dark browns, lighter browns. It has like a gray brown splotches in it. Alexa, stop the alarm. Alexa, stop the alarm. Yeah, so after this pass, I'm going to let you guys go. Hi, Katie Crafts. Thank you so much for coming. We are working on this quilt pattern that I made with Erica Selman. She's also here on YouTube. She did a sew along last year using 9 blocks, and you could put it together whichever way you want it. And this is the way I put it together. I did put 3 borders on it to make it a little bit bigger, and it turned. I love it. I love how it turned out. And I'm using a pre-programmed edge to edge on it. I don't know the number is 412, but I know that's not the name of the pattern. But again, if I go on Urban Elements tonight to see if I can find it, I will put the name of that edge to edge in the description box. Because right now I just have the number. Now, I can, on this machine, I can't remember, is it 2,000 stitches? I mean, it can go really, really fast. I don't have mine set very, very fast because I want to make sure, I want the stitches to look as the best way they can. And sometimes when you get this machine and it gets to flying, oh my goodness, I don't know. I just don't want it to, have any kind of problem. But I have mine like in the middle. So it is going a little bit slower, and that's okay because it's the speed I like him to run at. And then there's also, I can go definitely in manual mode. In manual mode, he is in regulated mode. That means it doesn't matter how fast or how slow he goes, the stitches will be exactly the same within, I have mine set at 11 stitches per inch. Those same 11 stitches will be per inch as it is in the second inch. You know what I'm saying? They will be consistent. Now, when you're in manual mode, I am the one who has to be consistent in keeping those stitches as close as to 11 inches, 11 stitches per inch as possible. I'm in control of that. I generally do not run in manual mode. Now, if I was free motion quilting, I free motion quilt in regulated mode too. Once I get a little bit more comfortable with it and I want to play with the manual mode, because they said things are so much better in manual mode. I don't know. I'm too scared to try it. But that's what I'm here for. That's what I want to learn. I want to get past being afraid of trying things on this machine. So hopefully I can come out of that being afraid to do so. You work so hard on your quilt tops, and the last thing you want to do is, last thing I want to do, especially if it's a pretty one like this, I'm like, I don't want to try something, I'm gonna hate it, because I'm the kind of person, I will rip stitches out. Do you hear me? I will rip stitches completely out of a quilt that I do not like. And I've done that. I don't know if you guys are with me on that Joy quilt. When I finished the live one after I quilted that Joy quilt that next day, I did not like those stitches. I took them all out. I restitched it, and I like it. Like it a lot better. That's just who I am. And I know Angela Walters, she is a big advocate of do not take those stitches out because you'll learn from them. I wanted to hang that quilt on the wall, and I just could not look at ugly, okay? I just did not do it. It's funny how you can see threads when you sit down at eye level. And another thing I don't do, oh, I need to stop. I'm stopping it is because he ran out of bobbin thread. And that is a cue, since I'm over my time, we're going to go ahead and stop here. And what I'll do is I'll just line them back up, clean out my bobbin area, line him back up in the same area where the Actually, I'm going to take it back to several stitches back to a seam and start back over in that seam. But let me see if I can bring you guys in a little bit so you guys can see. The camera is moving, so please be aware of that. But can you see the pattern? There it is. It looks so good, guys. I'm loving it. Get a little bit closer without dropping my iPad. And that's it. Put the camera back and lift you guys up here. Sorry about that. So guys, that is all for tonight, okay? Thank you so much for joining me. Let me make sure there's no other questions. Don't be afraid of free motion quilting. It's fun. I know, I know. She said it's all relative. I learned ruler techniques, but I am fearful of putting that needle through my hand. Yes. Ask me how I know. It's not fun. It hurts. It is amazing how much we learn from our fun. That's so true. Thank you so much for your encouragement, Ellen, because that is definitely true. And it's just so happy for me. Yes, guys, this is turning out beautifully. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And yeah, I'll make sure that I think I got some kind of delay going on here. But I usually say after anyway for if I see extra questions in the chat, but I am going to go ahead and end it here, guys. I had a wonderful time with you this evening. Thank you so much for spending your evening with me on tonight. And yeah, until next week. Next week we come back with Embroidery Mondays. We'll be working on the Insect Garden hanger by Sweet Pea Designs. If you haven't gotten your pattern, go ahead and get it. If not, just come back and watch as I create, as I create some things. Yes. And then again on Longarm Tuesday, I have a king size quilt, guys. A king size. And I don't know what pattern I'm going to put on it yet, but I know it is a big floral quilt as well. So, and he does want computer work on it. So, I see nothing else in the chat. You guys have an amazing, amazing evening and have a blessed, blessed rest of your week. Just know your girl will be praying for you. Until then, talk to you guys later. Bye.